How to use OpenClaw. In today's video, I am going to walk you through exactly how to use OpenClaw in a practical, real-world way. If you've heard about OpenClaw but you're still unsure how it actually works or how to use it properly, then this video is going to simplify everything. We're not just going to talk about features, we're going to break down how OpenClaw thinks and how you structure tasks inside it, how workflows are created, and how you can use it to automate serious work. By the end of this video, you will understand how to turn OpenClaw from just another AI tool into a structured automation assistant that works for you consistently. Before you can use OpenClaw, you need to shift your mindset. Just know that OpenClaw is not just a chatbot. It's not something you open just to ask random questions like ChatGPT or Google Gemini. OpenClaw is an AI automation framework. That means it allows you to define structured processes where multiple AI-powered steps run automatically in sequence or just based off on conditions. If ChatGPT is like talking to an assistant in real time, OpenClaw is like hiring an assistant and giving them a checklist and then telling them to complete everything without asking you after every step. It runs logic and it passes output from one step into the next step. It removes repetition, and that is what makes it powerful. Let's talk about how OpenClaw works, because at its core, OpenClaw operates using tasks and workflows. A task is a single instruction that you're going to give to the AI. For example, if we just go over to OpenClaw and in the chat box, if you just ask the OpenClaw AI bot to simply just generate 5 YouTube titles about AI automation, that is one task. But real productivity doesn't just stop here. A workflow is when you chain tasks together. So after generating 5 titles, the next task might be select the most clickable title. You can also just give instructions one by one after every single task, but this is going to take you time, and after every generated response, you have to give a proper instruction back. Now each task feeds its output into the next one automatically, and now what a proper system is when each task just feeds its output into the next one automatically. OpenClaw sends those instructions to an AI all collectively through an API connection, and the AI processes the request. It sends back the response, and OpenClaw passes the output into the next step. Everything becomes connected. Now the biggest mistake beginners make is opening OpenClaw without clarity. OpenClaw works best when you already know what repetitive process you want to eliminate. Ask yourself, what do I repeatedly do that follows a pattern? Maybe you write a blog post every week if you're a content creator, or you create YouTube scripts regularly, and you also generate product descriptions, just send client onboarding emails, summarize research documents, analyze the feedback reports. OpenClaw shines when tasks follow a predictable structure, and once you identify one process, that becomes your automation target. To start simple, don't try to automate your entire business in one day, especially if you're new to OpenClaw and you've never used it before. Now moving on to the next step, it is going to be to break the process into a clear step. Once you choose your automation goal, the next step is breaking it down logically. Think like a systems designer, and let's say you want to automate a blog creation. Instead of saying write a blog, you divide it into smaller steps. You can simply divide the blog post into simple steps like writing or just generating topic ideas first, and then you select the best topic and then you start writing about that topic, just creating a structured outline. And then you're going to expand each section into full paragraphs and optimize for SEO, and then later summarize your blog post and post it on social media or just for social media promotion. Now you're just giving direct instructions to OpenClaw, and that's how it's performing the tasks. The more clearly you define each step, the better your final result will be. Vague instructions produce inconsistent output, so specific instructions just create reliable automation. Now you would want to connect your project management application along with it. You can just connect any AI tool like Notion, so anytime you enter anything, you can simply just go over here and automate it. It's pretty simple. You can get the automation from the integration API key. Once you do, simply go over to channels and connect it to Notion. That is how your automation is going to be running and clear. Now another step is to write a strong task and instruction. The quality of OpenClaw's results depend heavily on how well you write your instructions. Now right here above, We wrote the instructions really clear and it was simple. It did not consist of too many fancy words or just typing in too many words for a simple 4-line sentence like first generate topic ideas. You can be more precise on what topic ideas you want related to political issues, related to environment, or just completely fiction or ongoing social media or about ongoing trends and all that. Now you are essentially programming logic by using natural language. Instead of writing write blog or just writing write me a blog for my research or just adding unnecessary words, you can simply just be more precise and tell the OpenClaw bot to write a 1000 word educational blog post in a conversational tone, structured with headings and subheadings explaining the topic clearly for beginners. Now you see the difference. Clarity equals control. Each task should clearly state what the AI should produce, the format, the tone, the length, and then any constraint. The more specific your instruction, the more stable your workflow becomes. Now OpenClaw requires an AI model to function, and once connected, every task you define gets sent to the model automatically. Now that's where the channels come in handy. For example, if you see your social media application, or if you're a social media manager or just managing your agency, you would want to connect your Telegram, WhatsApp, or your LinkedIn directly to OpenClaw, because that way you can send an automated text immediately as soon as your client reaches out. Now you can also configure things like creativity level, your output length, your model type, even your response formatting. Simply go over to one of these applications and just connect them with the API key. Now these settings affect how your AI behaves inside the workflows. For structured content, you may want to lower creativity and need more precision. For brainstorming, you may increase the creativity. Understanding this balance is key to mastering OpenClaw. Now, once you're testing out your workflow, never assume that your workflow will work perfectly the first time. Testing is part of the process, and you can just run your workflow manually and observe, does each task produce clean output, or does the second task correctly use the output from the first? Is the formatting consistent, or are instructions being followed? If something breaks, then you can adjust the specific task and go over with your automation and simply just get the output again and test it out. Now optimization help, and that way you don't have to rebuild everything. You can just go over to the specific task. Optimization happens step by step. Think of it as refining a machine. Now, once your workflow is working correctly, you can move to automation triggers. Instead of manually running it, you can just set it and run it on a schedule. That can also be done through channels and these sessions. It depends on how clearly you automate and write the instructions. This is where OpenClaw is really powerful, because it stops being a tool you operate and becomes a system that operates independently. For example, every time you add a content idea to a spreadsheet, OpenClaw could automatically generate a full script based on it. That's scalable productivity, and it also saves you a lot of time to copy and paste and give the AI instructions over and over again. Now let's make this practical. Content creators use OpenClaw to batch create blog posts and video scripts automatically. Agencies use it to generate client reports and campaign summaries. Along with e-commerce, they just automate product descriptions and marketing emails for their stores. Researchers also use OpenClaw to automate data summarization and structured insights. Now, freelancers also use OpenClaw to automate proposal drafts and client onboarding documentation. Now, the common theme here is the repetitive, structured task becoming the automated pipelines. Now, one major mistake is overcomplicating your workflows that beginners often make too early. Just know that you should start small. Start with giving basic instructions in the chat box, then start with small workflows, connecting the API keys and connecting different AI tools. Build a 2-step workflow before actually attempting 10 steps. Another mistake is writing vague instructions. If you're unclear, the AI will be unclear as well. Also, always review outputs at the very beginning, because automation doesn't mean blind trust. You're still building it, it's still a machine. You need to test it out after each step. It just means that it includes structured supervision until it is stable. Finally, remember that OpenClaw amplifies clarity. If your process is messy, automation will magnify that mess. Just keep the logic clean and make sure that it produces clean results. To truly use OpenClaw effectively, stop thinking like a casual AI user and start thinking like a systems builder. Identify the patterns and break them into steps. Write clear instructions, test, refine, and automate. OpenClaw isn't about typing. Now, if this video was helpful and helped you understand how to use OpenClaw in a structured way, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dive AI automation tutorials. Comment below if you have any questions or queries or need more guide to AI tools. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.